Welcome, Roy here. Step 7 of the 12 steps to more headspace. So, how are you getting on? How did you get on with the last practice? Is slowing your breath down and again feeling that heightened sense of awareness in it, and then noticing the calming effect it has on the pace of your thoughts, the calming effect it has on the quality with which you're observing your thoughts. There's a greater sense of mental spaciousness and even clarity in it. But not once have you changed the thought, but yet you'll find that your thoughts are slowing down a little bit, and then the sense of spaciousness that you're observing your thoughts in is just a little greater. So a little bit more challenging that one, in the sense of it's a little bit subtle. So if you got any of that, you're doing very well. You're doing very well. So now we're going to develop the next step. So the next step is I'm going to get you to observe the space between your thoughts. Like the space between your breaths, the space in your breath, the space in your body, the space in your environment, the space, your personal space, is lots of different spaces that we're recognizing. So now it's the space between your thoughts. So what's an easy way to do this? Is, let me ask you a question. When you're thinking, is what do you use to fill in the gaps? When it's like you're thinking a thought and what phrase do you normally use? Because when you go what you're doing is you're having a thought, and then that thought comes to an end, and then you're figuring out where's the thought going, or what's the next thought. So that or that that's a moment between one thought and the next, and you're verbalizing it. You're actually speaking it out loud. So everybody has their way that they do that. What is your way that you do that? Lots of people have uniquely their own way of doing it. So now, what I want you to do here is build on the last practice, is breathe a little slower. Feel that keeps you in your body, it keeps you in your breath, but it heightens your awareness, slows everything down, slows all the systems and functions of your body down, slows your breath down. It'll actually slow your thoughts down. You're slowing down your concentration. It allows you to extend it out more, simply by just slowing the breath down. So I want you to keep doing that. But now, I want you to notice when you go, and then go, oh, there that is, there's that there. And when you recognize what your phrase is I want you to practice that during the day. But do it willingly, consciously, rather than just as your reflective way of so now I want you to, whatever it is I want you to practice that through the day. So again, you can do it quietly. Yeah? If you're sitting in a cafe or something, you still do it quietly. Is whatever it is, and repeat it a couple of times quietly. But while you do that, is watch how that naturally puts you in the space between your thoughts. So consciously practice it, whatever it is that you do. Okay? And notice when you say that, there's no thought there. All there is you being aware and then waiting for a thought to come in. And you're catching the space between thoughts. That's what I want you to do. So that's one part of it, is consciously do it, so that now you're starting to recognize that space between your thoughts, and in that you're actually focusing. Your concentration in that is really pure, because there's no thought, there's just awareness itself, and you're watching and you're listening and you're feeling. So in that space, when you go notice how all your senses heighten, and that sense of spatial awareness within your thought is expanding all the time. Okay, now again, you might have been laughing at me there when I start doing but listen, it's really valuable to do it, so please give it a go. If you need to do it in privacy, do it in privacy. You can do it very quietly, nobody's going to know, but it's really valuable because you're catching that moment. Now the next part of that practice is notice when you spontaneously do it. Notice your pattern through the day, that when you're talking to people or you're communicating in any way, shape or form, is we got those moments of pause, those transition between thoughts. I want you to start to recognize those. Now the value of that is that notice in that moment that your senses are much more focused on that one point, and then in that your focus is actually focused on a space of clarity. It's the space between thoughts. So all that's in that moment is your awareness and your consciousness. There's no thought. Okay, and then as you focus on that, you're moving into the spatial awareness of not thoughts, but awareness itself. Okay, so really, it's a really powerful practice. Don't worry if you sound a bit if you sound a bit silly. That's okay. But just notice when you recognize what it is you do. Repeat it 10 times and watch how no thought comes in while you're doing it. Okay, and that's the value of it. Okay, so again, have a great time with it. Again, do it for 3 days. 10 times a day is good. 20 times a day is great. 30 times a day is amazing. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Share it with your friends. Put your comments down below and click notification to stay up to date. And other than that, have a great day, and I will see you again. Thank you.